We settled Mars over a century ago. Making this dusty rock our home wasn't easy, but the promise that led us across the void was freedom. Something my family's bled for many times.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you the beginning of my Red Faction Armageddon insane difficulty video walkthrough. And this is the very beginning of the game. The only problem is, because this game isn't layered into chapters, levels, or missions, I'm not too sure what the hell to call any of these missions. So, yeah, the titles of these videos are not going to be the most helpful. I'm going to have to get creative with this one, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But what I'm attempting to do with this guide anyhow, to explain the full nuances of it, is this is going to be a new game on insane difficulty. There is going to be no inherited items, upgrades, or abilities. I'm not going to be using any of the cheats that you unlock. I'm not going to be doing any of that nonsense. I'm also not going to be upgrading my life. So there is an upgrade system in this game that enables you to give yourselves more abilities, to give you weapons abilities, all that kind of stuff. You can also increase the amount of damage you can take, and for the purpose of this guide, I'm not going to increase my life at all. So there are 3 upgrades I will never buy. It will enable me to spend money on other things and stuff like that. And the reason why I know this is possible, and I know this is doable, is because I've already done it on my first playthrough. But this is the very beginning anyhow, and you are being introduced to, I think it's Darius Mason, the main protagonist of the game, who's a descendant of Alec Mason from Red Faction Guerrilla. And right now we're currently in the employ of the Earth Defense Force, or whatever the fucking Mars people are called, and we're currently battling our way through a bunch of cultists, Ravager cultists, trying to get to the Terraformer, which is what enables, you know, life on this planet, and terrorists are attacking it, so we have to stop them from doing it. They're led by a charismatic psycho dude known as, I think it's Hale. I can't remember quite his full name, but he's got a bunch of tattoos on his face. He's really mean. He's, you know, everything you could want out of a villain. But it's an interesting game, this, and a lot of the magazines, well, I say magazines, a lot of the internet sites and things, because THQ have announced that there's going to be no more Red Factions in the franchise because this didn't sell too great. A lot of people are accusing this game of killing Red Faction, but that is not the case at all. This is a good game. This is a fun game. Don't get me wrong, it's a big change from what Guerrilla was. It's a complete and utter change from what Guerrilla is. But what you've got to bear in mind is the original Red Faction was very much like this game. It was a linear first-person shooter that took place on Mars. You went through areas of rock, you went through areas of buildings, and, you know, installments. You went through all that kind of stuff. It had a significantly better storyline than this, and it was a little bit more diverse in its gameplay because it had some mystery, it had some slow moments and all that kind of stuff, but this is not as bad as a lot of the reviews are making out. Sure, it's very linear, you do the same thing from start to finish, but it doesn't necessarily make it bad, because I actually do find every part of this game, except for maybe the end, really enjoyable. I do think it's probably a level too long, and there do seem to be quite a lot of replay value with all the different multiplayer modes and things like that, so the game has a lot to offer. And it has a bunch of stuff that you unlock when you beat the game as well, which is really nice to see, because there's more of a focus on the single player. But yeah, I like it a lot. It's got some fantastic explosions. It's got a lovely physics engine with the Geo mod Destruction 2.0 or whatever the hell they're calling it. And it has some really cool weapons, which is always nice to see, because these days in modern games, guns seem to be an afterthought. And back in like the N64 days of Turok and all that kind of crazy games, guns were the main focal point of games. And that's an age that I'd love to get back to, because I love me some crazy weapons. But anyhow, I should probably talk a little bit about how you're going to beat the game. And these things you're going to see me picking up here are the salvage points, and these all add towards buying upgrades for your character to make the game easier. And everything that you blow up drops bits of salvage. It doesn't drop a lot, but it drops enough to be worth picking up. It does stack up, and it enables you to just get stronger. It enables you to have a much easier and much more fun time. And the first thing you're going to notice here is this assault rifle that you start with is a piece of shit. I fucking hate this gun. It's got a bunch of recoil, it doesn't seem to have enough bullets in one clip to kill a single person, and it's just really useful, and useless should I say, and you're going to see me right now get myself into a bit of trouble because I'm relying on this gun and it's garbage. So my life is currently pretty low. I swapped to my hammer because I know they're going to be coming, and the hammer is pretty much an insta-kill. on these early dudes, and I wait for him, rush this guy, good night son, and rush his pal, see ya buddy. And the hammer's much more useful than the assault rifle, but it's just one of those strange things. As far as the weapons go, I generally stay away from everything that involves bullets, because you are given a magnet gun and a bunch of explosive weapons that will pretty much deal with every single situation you could ever hope to get yourself into. But the keys to beating this game, and the keys to having success when you play it, is knowing when to run. I actually think this game is very, very similar to Lost Planet, the original, on Extreme. And the main reason for that is because you had to do things very fast on the first Lost Planet because you were running out of heat. There's no such mechanic on this, there's nothing as contrived as that makes you push through the levels, but there are certain sections of the game that you just have to run. If you're staying back and you're killing all the enemies, then you're a better player than me, because they just seem to have random spawns sometimes. It seems to be endless, and every time you kill some more pop up behind you and things like that, and it can make it overly challenging than it needs to be because it's very unbalanced. There are certain parts that are just absolutely bullshit when it comes to balancing, and it forces you to do a psycho run. It forces you to just balls to the walls, run through it, but it also makes it very easy. And the second to last level has you going in to the lair of the queen of the aliens, and it's not much of a spoiler because everything that has a source has a fucking leader. But that entire level, the difficulty shift is insane because it's pretty much, there are nests on every wall, they're spitting out a constant stream of enemies, and you just can't kill them quick enough. So that entire level you're going to see me run and pretty much not kill anything. And I personally don't find that very fun, but it's very effective. Also, another thing to note is that the magnet gun is one of the first weapons you're going to pick up when it actually gets to the proper game after this little introduction and this bit of storyline trappings. And it's the best gun on the game. It never runs out of ammo, it can kill pretty much every enemy except for the behemoths and the tentacles, and it's ridiculous. And if you can get good with it, you're probably not going to need any other weapon unless you want to mix it up a little bit with things like, I think it's the plasma cannon that I'm using now. And this is another early weapon that is really, really useful. The only problem with it is it's prone to exploding on anything it touches, and it takes a while to charge up. You can actually see me in this video gonna shoot this through a window, and for whatever reason the explosive charge hits the window frame and nearly kills me. So be very careful with it, but take your time, use your cover, use everything that you know. Don't ever get too close to the enemies unless you've got your impact upgraded, because there's just no point. Certain enemies you are perfectly safe to get close to, like for instance, the aliens are a lot easier than the humans, and I know that probably sounds really insane because if anybody played the demo, the aliens were a pain in the ass, and they still are, I'm happy to say. They will still be a nuisance for the majority of the game, but they seem to have a much more difficult time killing you than the humans do, though. Humans are accurate, they're aggressive, and they don't fuck about. But the aliens, they like sit on walls and have cigarettes and chat with their buddies before they really do anything. And by the time they've even got into the mindset of trying to hurt you, you've already stuck a magnet to them and they're colliding with the room's ceiling or something like that. So the aliens are actually not as intimidating as I first thought they were. There are a handful of ones that are a pain in the ass, like the big brutish berserker guys that don't die. They're a bit annoying, and there's the ones that can fire electricity at you, the Ravagers that do that. But aside from that, it's not too bad at all. But always try and blow up everything you can, just in case there's a chance there's a bit of salvage hidden inside the boxes or the crates and all that good stuff. And just be aware, because the sooner you can get a few upgrades under your belt, the easier the game will be to play, because you'll get things like faster reloads, faster weapon swapping, more accurate guns, more damaging guns, all that kind of stuff. I do actually think they missed a bit of an opportunity with the upgrade system, because you can't actually upgrade your guns, and I was really looking forward to, you know, having 4 weapons that I would carry through the entire game and upgrading them into something really devastating. But the upgrade systems work more of a perk kind of system on this game than they do, you know, the arbitrary usual upgrade mechanism. Get used to pressing buttons as well. There's a lot of button pressing. It's kind of silly. But when you open this door, you're going to be introduced to the levels, well, one of the first bosses on the game. There is not that many bosses. I was kind of surprised by that fact, because you take this guy on in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then you don't see another one for like 3 hours. But he's very simple. All you have to do is keep charging this plasma cannon, hitting him directly in the face. The electricity is not that damaging, but it does hurt you. If you see him doing the red attack there, where he fires his charged cannon, make sure you dodge it. Don't waste your time rebuilding cover or anything like that, because he isn't fast enough to kill you unless he hits you with that move. And it is far too easy to dodge, you just don't need to mess about. But just keep hitting him with the cannon. When you run out of ammo, there is plenty of it scattered throughout the room, but just keep focusing on him, hitting him, and just dodging his attacks. It's very simple. He only gets me down to low life once, and that's because I think I get stuck on a bit of box on the floor and I can't quite move. No. Oh, I run out of ammo. So yeah, I have to come over here and pick up some more ammo, and he's electrocuting me, so that's about as low as my life gets with him. I think the next 2 shots from this cannon will kill him. If you hit him with every part of the explosion, he takes maybe 10 shots, maybe less. It all depends. Don't mess about with any other guns, there's just no point. This gun is far too powerful for you to fuck about with a machine gun, and before you know it, he's falling over dead, and it's that simple. But I run around the room now picking up as much stuff as I can. You don't have to, all you have to do is hold X and the level ends. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're looking forward to this guide. It should be useful and enjoyable, and you take care now.